All right, welcome to the Padawanami Studios here at Eagle Rock Middle School. It's Mr. Andrus, COVID edition. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about geography. It's another one of the forces of history, and it's one that you can't really control as people very much, and it has a huge amount to do with how things happen. So with geography, what we're talking about is the land or the water, what it looks like, and how it unites or divides people. One of the things it does is it makes transportation and interaction maybe easier. I mean, there's some geographic things that just make life easier. If you're, think back to the Pilgrims. If you want to go somewhere where you can live and thrive, you need water. You need some fresh water. So you got to be somewhere near a river or a lake or something like that, because you can't just hop off the boat from the ocean and dig a well. That's going to be a problem. So you want to be by water, and that's a geographic feature that helps you out. And on water, you can build boats or canoes to move around and to interact with other people or other things. So that's good. Other things divide. The ocean itself. England's not right next to America. They are far apart. And so that ocean is a divide. And until ship technology made it to an adequate level, that geography of that ocean made it hard for Europeans to get to America. Now the land has some other issues too. Mountains are a key one. If you have a giant mountain or a great big canyon, if people are moving from one place to another, that might be as far as they go. Because walking around, if you've ever gone hiking, walking around on flat land's one thing. Once I got to climb over a mountain, especially if I have gear or stuff or animals, material to build a home, tools, that's a lot harder to do going over a mountain. When we study history, we're going to see that the colonies all seem to start right here along the coast because they get off the boat and that's where they go. And they stretch to the west. But there's a big pause once they run up against the Appalachian Mountains, because that mountain range, the Appalachians kind of in the middle and the south, and the Alleghenies maybe a little more in the north, it's hard to get over them. And if you do get over the mountains, you're way over here, and any help or any stores or any farms or any ocean, it's all way over here on the other side. So a lot of times mountains become very important geographical features. Very often, geography is going to become a border. We had an entire war with Mexico about where that border was, whether it was at the Rio Grande River or not. If you know where the border is today, you can figure out who won that war, but we're going to talk about it in trimester 2 or 3. So borders become based on geographic features. And then finally, and maybe most importantly, geography is going to give you natural resources like water, like we talked about. But the land and how it is, whether it's desert, whether it's lush, whether there's snow, whether there's not, all of that's going to affect what kind of resources you have there. I know when I talked about economy, I talked about the geography of Saudi Arabia, made it pretty useless and pretty hard to live for hundreds, maybe thousands of years. But then they found oil underneath the geography, and even though it was a geography of nothing, nobody wanted it, now it's very valuable land because there's oil underneath it. Well, here in America, when we're talking about the colonies and the early American states, some of the natural resources that were here were trees and fishing and whaling, which was very important off the coast in the early parts of America. And if you go to places like in the South, especially in the Carolinas, it was the absolute perfect geography and the perfect temperatures and the perfect everything to grow things like rice or indigo or cotton or tobacco. So in many ways, geography directly affected the economy of different states. And it also directly affected the interaction of people. If that geography isn't so perfect for growing down in the South, then there's a reasonable chance slavery never really catches on. And that slavery piece is the biggest problem that America's ever had. We solve problems because of that today. So geography can have a great big deal to do with everything. Last little bit about geography. If you think about America, no one's ever really attacked us and threatened us in a war because we're so far away from everything else. We're this great big country, but we've got oceans protecting us on either side. And Canada and Mexico have never been in a position to really attack us. So we've been lucky based on geography that has made us safer here in America. So that's it for geography, and we'll talk more about the other forces of history in the next video. Thank you.